Hello and welcome back to yet another episode of More Sewing with Michele. My name's Michele Rank, and today I've got a new cutting tool to show you. This handy dandy tool is called the slice, and I can't wait to explain how it's going to make your crafting a little bit more fun and also the ease of using this new cutting tool. So I'm also going to talk a little bit about sewing on vinyl, how easy it can be, and what are the tools that are going to make it easier for you to sew with vinyl on your sewing machine. So let's get going on this week's More Sewing with Michele. Okay, so let me talk a little bit about this tool, the slice cutting instrument. Now, this is just like holding a pen. It does the same things as like an X-Acto knife, or why I like it for More Sewing with Michele, it will save your scissors. I know that I've invested a lot of money into my scissors, and my sewing scissors I do not like to use on any other material except fabric, batting, and maybe thread. But other than that, they're kind of off limits for other things. Now, I have found myself, though, I will admit, sometimes when I'm crafting, if I'm doing applique or I'm using my double-sided adhesives, I will sometimes grab my scissors because they're right there, and I will cut those particular types of materials. And that can dull the scissors that I treasure so much for cutting fabric. Now, I do have, in my craft area and also up here, I do have scissors that I use for other type of materials. But even those can get dull when you're cutting, say, some vinyl, if you're cutting some of the stabilizers things. There's lots of different things that we use as crafters. Think about it. When you're doing applique and you use your whatever double-sided adhesive you use, if it's heat and bond or any of those all have some sort of paper backing and adhesive to them, as well as, using vinyls, whichever type that you have. If you have a scan and cut, how many people go through their vinyl and they may use their regular scissors to cut that? And one of the things I love are these vinyl glitter sheets that we have. So there's lots of things that we use when we're sewing for bags or even just simple applique on quilts or machine embroidery that I think we should protect our scissors. So to cut those things, I brought in this slice tool. Now the slice tool, like I said, it's just like a pen. It's got the little clip where I can clip it on something. The blade is protected. So you simply push this up and the blade is exposed. Now the great thing about this blade is I can touch it, and I'm pushing pretty hard. No blood here. I couldn't do that with like an X-Acto knife or some of those other metal blades. But this blade is made from ceramic, and it's super sharp. It will cut all of this vinyl with ease, but it's safe around children, your pets, even around me, to be honest. I can't tell you how many times where I picked up something and I could have poked myself. But yeah, it's not going to hurt you if you push hard. No blood. So I love that about it. And get this. This ceramic blade on here lasts up to 10 times longer than a metal blade. So you're going to get an extended period of time with just one blade. And so we have a refill package here. Super easy to change. Basically, you're going to unscrew. I'll do it real quick. You unscrew the cap, which exposes the inner parts. You twist it, take off, and then you would simply put a new one in, line it up, twist it back on, and just like that, twist the container back together. and your pen's there. To store it, you simply push it in. So it's super convenient, super easy, and it does wonderful things. And it will save your blades on your scissors for what we want them, fabric only. So all of that is one of the reasons why I love this slice tool. It's left or right-handed. It doesn't need to be either or. Like I said, you know how I feel about caps, where I protect my items so no one gets hurt. So it's got that. Great for your children. If you have children that like to craft, you can safely hand them this slice tool, let them cut their vinyl, their paper. By the way, if you are a paper crafter, which I was for many, many years, a scrapbooker and paper crafter, this is perfect for that too. So there's so many things. Let me think of the things you can cut with it. Washi tape, paper, packaging tape, glitter sheets, all the stuff I've shown you. This is vinyl for like tablecloths. We also have this fancy gingham vinyl. The sheets, this is a clear vinyl that you would put on top of something. And then once again, the scan and cut vinyl, as well as our glitter sheet. So lots of things that you use these items for, but this is going to be perfect for cutting. Let me think. I have a list in front of me. Make sure I haven't lost anything. Oh, it's also good for scoring larger items. And because you use it like a pin, you're going to get some neat cuts, which I'm going to show you in just a little bit. So this thing is going to be awesome. It's going to save your scissors from cutting things that you shouldn't cut with your scissors. And then the only other thing that you kind of need to know is you're going to use your same cutting mat when you use it. And I'll show you that on the demo. So slice, ceramic blade, absolutely safe to the touch, lasts 10 times longer than a metal blade, and therefore also it won't rust, so you won't have any problems with that. So you can use it in a moist or wet environment and not have to worry about rust. I love this tool. I know you will too. And let me get on to a demo on how to actually cut with it. Okay, so we always want to protect our sewing scissors. Like I said, they are off limits for cutting anything except fabric. So this slice tool, I love that it's so handy. It's just like a writing pen. I'm going to expose the blade and let me grab, so this is our scan and cut vinyl. Just going to unroll a little bit, and you always want to use your slice tool onto a cutting mat. So any of your rotary cutting mats are going to be fine. I'm going to simply slide it right along the edge of my ruler here, and there you go. Fast, effective cuts, and it's protected my scissors. So those scissors are going to last a lot longer. So that's how easy it is to cut. It's nothing difficult. The blade on here is actually 1.mm. So it's not a super deep blade that's exposed. And that's important to note. So you're not going to want to cut anything like that's very thick. You want your items to be a thin type of material that you're cutting. And like for us sewers, vinyl and sheets that you use for your double-sided adhesive and those type of things are going to be the best thing for us. But once again, crossover, most people that do sewing are crafters, and I'm sure there's a lot of you that are scrapbookers out there too. This blade is going to be wonderful for cutting your paper, and you can do some really detailed things. Speaking of which, unique cuts or detailed cuts you can do with this too. Let me grab, this is some of my fancy vinyl here, and I'm going to show you how you can use it, and you can do some fun, swirly cuts, and I'm just simply sliding it along and going at different angles, and I can get, look at that, some wave cuts here. And I've got some samples that I'm going to show you in just a little bit of items that I have made with these vinyls. So I love that you can do some fancier non-straight cuts with your slice. So this is the wonderful, my favorite glitter vinyl that we have, and this is by Kimberbell, and you can see once again I can do just a detailed slice with my slice tool, and I've got that cut. Super easy. And then what else? Oh, so let me show you. This is vinyl, like tablecloth vinyl that I picked up. And I want to cut out one of the watermelons. So I'm going to use it and take my time real quickly. And I'm going to just simply go around this watermelon shape. And this is what I did when on one of the samples that I'm going to show you. I simply cut out the watermelons. There we go. And let me put this stuff away. And look, I've got a watermelon cut out. And that was fast and easy. And once again, I am saving my scissors, which is why, to me, this tool is so important. So that's basically the demo of the slice tool. I know you're going to love it, and you know what to do. You can go to moors-sew.com and pick up your slice tool, and don't forget to get the refills, or you can click on the link in the description where you can get your slice tool today. Okay, sewing on vinyl. And it's not even vinyl, sticky stuff. Sometimes it could be leather. It could be a t-shirt. I can't tell you how many times when I've had to make a t-shirt quilt, I've had problems with stickier type of fabrics where my foot doesn't want to glide across. So let me show you the trick to sewing on vinyl and also those difficult things to sew on. So what I like to do is on my machine here, on my Janome, I have a needle glide plate as well as a glide foot. Now let me show you what an ultra glide foot is. It's this little fun thing. Now this is just like a normal foot that attaches to your machine, but this one is made of Teflon, and it will glide over those tricky surfaces to sew on. So this is my Janome. This is the Baby Lock brother. So what you want to make sure that you get, depending upon whatever make of machine you have, that you pick up their glide foot. And like I said, the brother Baby Lock looks pretty much so the same. White foot that's made to glide over those difficult surfaces. So pick up, definitely for sure, one of these feet for your machine, and that's going to be the trick to make it go without a hitch. Now let me share just a little story. When I was working on t-shirt quilts years ago, and I didn't know about the glide foot, and I can tell you I was like pulling out my hair because I was having such a hard time sewing on it. So I had used just a piece of paper to put on top and sew through, and then I discarded the paper by ripping it off. But it was so much work and so difficult to get everything to go smoothly. This one little foot is going to make sewing on any sticky or difficult materials a breeze. Now, I've already showed you how to use that slice tool to cut up some of your vinyl. So I've got here, this is a piece of the Scan and Cut vinyl, and let me expose it and attach it to my purple fabric here, like so. So now I've got it on there, and I am going to, on my machine, I put my Ultra Glide plate on. I switched out my needle plate, which is going to make it easier. And then I'm going to attach my glide foot to my machine. Okay, and then I'm using just regular old thread, my cotton thread, to do this. So I'm going to just sew a zigzag. And on normal sewing, what would happen is your foot would stick to this vinyl, and it wouldn't sew very well, and your stitches would not be very pretty. But with this glide foot, I can sew without a hitch. So let me get set up, and I've got this zigzag going. Up, except my thread broke. Okay, so that happens to all of us too. Let me change my thread and I'll be right back. So let me get sewing real quick. So you can see I have no problems. It's sewing that vinyl onto just my piece of fabric without a hitch. And I have got my decorative zigzag going. And let me go ahead and cut. And just like that, it's beautiful, super easy, and it wasn't problematic at all. The reason being is because of that glide foot, the Teflon foot that is generally, I don't think most machines come with that with their machine. Some of the top of the line machines will include a Teflon foot. Double check your machine on your manual that comes with your machine to see what feet or attachments are in there. And hopefully you have one. If not, you're going to want to pick up one of those Teflon glide feet for your machine. Now let me show you. Remember I cut out those watermelons with my tabletop vinyl, which is a little bit thicker than this scan and cut vinyl. So I've got 2 of them here, like so, and I'm just going to stitch around and show you how easy, once again, it is to sew those onto fabric. So I'm going to use a straight stitch here. I'm going to drop my stitch length down to like a 2.1, and I'm going to just real quickly sew this on. And once again, you can see there's no hiccups. I don't even have to hold it. My machine is not stressed at all by sewing on the vinyl. I'm going to pivot real quick, and then I'm going to sew around this curve area. I'm going to cut, and you can see one down. It's so easy, and it's funny, it's just the foot that's making it easy, but I tell you, if you tried to sew just with regular, and I think maybe I'll show you real quick how that works. Let me get this other watermelon sewn on here. Okay, and here we go. And I'm just going to pivot around. Now I've got vinyl on top of vinyl. Pivot and do the straight part up top. And just like that, let me cut my thread real quick. I've got 2 watermelons right there. I'll probably make a little mug rug with this leftover piece, but super easy. The t-shirt quilt that I originally did, where I had so much frustration, was with my children's shirts. And a lot of juvenile shirts have that puffy paint or difficult raised areas. And like I said, this is going to change it, where you're just going to sew straight across and not have any problem. So I love my glide foot. I highly recommend that you get one. We will have on the website a variety of feet, the glide feet for your machine, hopefully. You can pick one up there. And if not, call one of our many locations of Moore Sewing Center here in Southern California, or you can always reach us on moores-sew.com. But we have locations in Temecula, Mission Viejo, Huntington Beach, Brea, and also our Corona store. And you can always call there to pick up your glide foot that will fit on your machine. So let me show you real quick. I'm going to get ready and show you what it's like to sew without the glide foot. Okay, so I'm going to show you real quick, give you a demo here. I've got just a piece of that vinyl on top of some fabric, and I'm going to try to sew it. I have my regular foot on here, so let's give it a go. And you can see it's a no-go. We tried to give it a go, but it's a no-go. So I'm going to change out real quick and put that glide foot on here. And let me attach that. Let me take this up here again. And just like that, look at that. So that's the advantage. So anything that you have that's slippery, slick, or like I stated, those t-shirts, those kids t-shirts that have puffy or embellished or embossed areas on top of the shirt, this is going to be able to make it so that you can slide through difficult things with an ease. So once again, make sure that you pick up your glide foot for your sewing machine, whatever make and model, they all have them. So love it. You're going to want to get one of those. Okay, so let me show you some of the things I've made with this vinyl and using my machine and that glide foot. The first thing that I want to show you is this handy dandy. I'm going to use it for my iPad, but you may think that this is fabric. Aha, but it's not. All of this black and white gingham here is actually the vinyl that I had. And I simply made a grid pattern, attached it to some batting, and I did that on the front too. So I've got sewing lines throughout to kind of secure it. So it's quilted vinyl. And then I added this fun pocket with that fun fabric with the cats. I added the binding, and on the inside, I mimicked the gingham on the outside, but I do have a lining on the inside that is also gingham. So it's just a fun little bag there for my iPad to keep it secure. So I love that, and it was so much fun sewing on this vinyl and creating this cute little bag. Then I also made a placemat. So placemats are obvious things when you purchase that vinyl, like this one with the watermelons, that's normally used for a table cover. So make a placemat, and this one I sewed right on top of the vinyl, and then once again, I sewed around those watermelons, creating just a little accent piece there. And then the last thing I did was I made this fun little tote bag here. And it, once again, has vinyl. All of the down parts on the bottom is vinyl. You can see I used my slice to get that decorative edge that I was talking about. And that's on the back side as well. I did a little mimicking of the design of that wave on my machine by just stitching along there. And I also added the webbing. And the webbing on top with that glide foot, I'm telling you, it is so easy to sew on vinyl. So lots of things you can make with vinyl outside of, like applique, or if you're using your scan and cut. There's lots of things you can do with vinyl. Think outside the box. Use it for a fun tote, a placemat, or even, like I said, that iPad case that I have. So I love that. I love, once off the iPod case, that's going to be waterproof because I use the vinyl. So it's going to give it that extra protection away from liquids that can possibly get in there. So sew with vinyl. I want you all to experiment and have fun creating things. Keep in mind, you can sew with ease with your glide foot. You're going to want to pick up one of those. And also remember that you need to have that glide foot so that it goes smoothly across that vinyl or the difficult things. And like I said, t-shirts can be problematic. If it's just a normal t-shirt without any design or embellishments on top, it's generally okay. But once you have that raised, embellished, embossed areas, it can be problematic to sew across those t-shirts for t-shirt quilts. But this glide foot is going to make all the difference. So grab your slice tool today on More Sewing with Michele, as well as pick up a glide foot for your sewing machine. And you can get them all at mores-sew.com or click on the link in the description. It's been my pleasure once again to have you visit with me on More Sewing with Michele. I look forward to next week. And until then, have a safe and happy sewing week. Bye-bye. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a More Sewing with Michele update. So it's been so much fun. I have enjoyed everything that I've gone through and all the episodes that I've had this year and 2021. Next year, 2022, oh my gosh, we've got changes coming up, and I can't wait to share with you some of the newest things that we have to share. So the first thing is we're going to have coupon codes. Yay, happy dance. So we will have a coupon code upside down. Come on, Michele. We're going to have a coupon code for every episode. And that way you're going to be able to save on the prices that we have. Isn't that great? I am so excited that you guys are going to save even more on all the fabulous stuff that I show you on More Sewing with Michele. It just doesn't get any better than that, does it? Now, also, I have a big announcement. So we are going to be going down to 2 times a month. So you're going to be able to find More Sewing with Michele on the first Monday of every month and the third Monday every month. So 2 times a month, I'll be coming back at you in 2022 to share all the fun stuff that I have in store for you for More Sewing with Michele. I can't wait. And I've got so many good things coming down the pipes that are going to be hitting the airways, so to speak, for More Sewing with Michele. And there's so many more things that I can't wait to share with you. So until the next episode of More Sewing with Michele, keep in mind that in 2022, I will be with you on the first and the third Monday every month. And don't forget those wonderful coupon codes. Thank you so much for being a loyal More Sewing with Michele watcher. And I look forward to all of 2022 with you. Take care. Happy sewing, everyone. Bye-bye.